My friend is having an affair with a married man. My pal, 30F, is single and totally unattached. No kids or anything. I'm 30F, married and have 2 kids. We've always gotten along well and been reliable supports for each other regardless of our different life circumstances. She struggles to establish committed romantic relationships and is understandably tired of the dating app scene. There's this man, 45M, who she's been working with for a few months and has had a crush on since the beginning. When she first confessed this to me, I told her that she should really think hard about boundaries and to make sure she's not having any interactions with him that she wouldn't have in front of his wife. My friend was deflated by the situation due to her feelings for him, but agreed with me. Anyway, a few weeks later I get an excited phone call from my friend asking if I've got a minute for something juicy. I asked her what was going on and she proceeded to tell me that she just had really kinky phone intimacy with her colleague. She was giggling and I just couldn't manage to respond. I was so appalled. Once she realized I wasn't matching her energy, she was like, "Hello? Are you there? Isn't this crazy?" I asked her what was happening with this guy's wife. My friend said that he's not leaving her and that if his marriage was ruined, he did it himself. Then she looped back to going into detail about what a dark horse he was and all the different kinks they now share. What planet do you have to live on in order to become an affair partner to a married man and then gloat to a married friend about it? After I told her I didn't support any type of inappropriate behavior with him.
My horrible brother-in-law cheated on his wife while she went through chemo. 3 months after she passed away, he's already flirting with my best friend, so she tore him apart. My brother-in-law Chris is a horrible human being. His ex-wife died of cancer and my brother-in-law was cheating even before her diagnosis. He continued to cheat even during the initial stages of her treatment. He tells her that he can't wait until she is gone so that he can have the house all by himself and freely bring his women. Chris calls her ugly and how being bald from chemo made her look like a monster. He also did not provide any support to her at any stage and was often partying. He still made her do house chores and threatened to kick her out if she refused to do so. Then, he decided to file a divorce because he didn't want to arrange a funeral for a woman he didn't even love. He was dragging her through a contentious divorce while she was literally dying. She died heartbroken 4 months after the divorce. Recently, he has been hinting at me to introduce him to women and I've refused. Chris has been single for almost 3 months and he has been having a hard time meeting women. He tried flirting with my friend but she had been cold and non-receptive. This was my friend Grace. She is not interested in him due to his inability to be faithful and she isn't physically attracted to him. He tried to flirtatiously engage with her during a small party my husband and I had last Saturday. During the party, Grace had grown frustrated with his incessant flirting and at some point told him in no uncertain terms that she found him ugly and that his physical ugliness was only surpassed by the ugliness of his character. She told him this in private and so no other guest had heard her scathing review of his personhood. After their confrontation, Chris left the party. The following afternoon, while my husband and I were nursing a wicked hangover, my in-laws, to my surprise, called to scold me for having abused and embarrassed Chris. After a few minutes of shouting back and forth on the phone, I reminded my husband that handling his family was his job. So while my husband argued with his parents, I reviewed our security cameras. And honey, Grace verbally tore him apart. Grace reminded him that he cheated and divorced his late ex-wife Lily while she was battling cancer and that he then got dumped by the mistress for being a cheater as he continued to cheat on her. Grace told him that he wasn't a man of any significant value other than the few coins he had in the bank and that there was no way in hell she'd entertain his delusions of sexual grandeur and beauty. She also said the only thing he had going for him was his overbloated job title as an executive director to a third-rate company that will probably collapse in the next 5 years. As a parting gift, she told him to consider some cosmetic work to improve his haggard appearance and perhaps to start praying for divine intervention to fix his rotten soul, since there is no way a psychotherapist could ever come close to fixing whatever is wrong with him. My in-laws and Chris feel that I shouldn't have told my friends what Chris did because he's now perceived by my girlfriends as a terrible person. I told them he was unfortunately a terrible person and people would have always found out what happened between him and the late, great Lily. I am 25, and have been with my ex-girlfriend, Carly F. We were high school sweethearts and we had a good relationship up until after she completed college. Adulthood has been putting strain on our relationship, so bills and finding sustaining jobs have been a challenge. We started arguing a bunch and just started overall being annoyed with each other's existence. We weren't sleeping in the same room, let alone being intimate. It was a tough time, to say the least. We tried therapy, and I felt like it wasn't working. I honestly wanted to be done, but I couldn't break up with her because we lived together and she helped me get out of debt. So I did something horrible and I started cheating on her with her childhood best friend. I thought she would never find out. Oh, my gosh, I was wrong. Yesterday afternoon I came home and she wanted to talk, and without hesitation, she jumped straight into it and asked me point blank if I was cheating on her. And I, of course, tried to lie, and she just started laughing and said, "I knew you weren't going to admit it, but I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt. So now I just feel less guilty." I just confessed to her, and she just looked at me and didn't have any expression, nor speak when I finished. She just laughed and told me and I would never forget it. Honestly, it's fine because Louis was over last weekend and we had a great time. My heart dropped to my stomach because Louis is my big brother. I just thought it was a low blow on Carly given she knew how insecure I was about my brother. He's the golden child and literally always did things 10x better than me. I'm stuck having to have some sort of relationship with him, and meanwhile, she can just drop her friend. My chest and heart have been hurting so much since I found out, and I'm so broken. I know I was wrong for cheating first, but if she knew, why didn't she just break up with me first? I called out of work because I feel like throwing up just thinking about it. I just walked in on my girlfriend of 7 years having sex with my roommate. My last class of the day was cancelled, so I decided to come home and surprise my girlfriend. I went to the store and grabbed everything to make her favorite meal, lasagna. I was carrying the bags up the stairs and put them down in front of the door to fish my keys out of my pocket, and then I heard my girlfriend moaning. I thought that she was taking care of herself because I know that she likes to do that sometimes when I'm not around. So I didn't have a sudden aha moment or anything. I walked in and there were her and my roommate on the couch. I opened the door and kind of just froze when I saw it. She looked up at me and he turned around and saw it was me. And I just saw red. As much as I wanted to, I didn't kick his ass. I just dropped the bags and walked away. As I was getting into my car, they both came running out and yelling at me to stop, but I just floored it and got out of there as quickly as I could. I even had the engagement ring that I planned to use to propose to her this summer when we went on vacation. It's in my safe that I keep in the closet, so I know that she doesn't know about it, but I plan to spend the rest of my life with her. Why didn't I see this coming? My phone has been blowing up from both of them. I haven't looked at any of the messages or answered any of the calls. I called my bank and made sure that she wasn't on any of my accounts for anything. I'm going to go back later tonight and pack up all of her stuff and drop it off at her place tomorrow. Then I'll probably take a bag of clothes to my friend's house and stay there until school ends. My best friend's sister, Emily, went through all the messages on my phone from both of them and deleted anything that didn't need to be on there. She texted both of them from my phone telling them that it was her that was texting and told her that a friend would be by at a certain time to pick up my stuff tomorrow. And she told him that I would be there by tomorrow to grab some things and that I was going to try to get out of a lease by talking to my landlord first. My wife, 32F, and I, 36M, married 8 months ago. We dated for 2.5 years prior to getting married. Recently we were on a vacation internationally and occasionally she would let me use her phone to check on things because I do not have an international plan on my phone. One day during the trip I asked her if I could use her phone while she was taking a shower. When I had her phone in my hand, another man sent her an explicit message. I was surprised by the message coming through and she was in the shower, so I clicked on it and saw messages going on for quite a few back and forth messages. As I briefly read the conversation, I saw messages that she was enthusiastically responding to the man's explicit offers describing things he wanted to do to her, and she responded to explicit things she wanted to do to him. When she got out of the shower I asked her who this person was. She said it was an old boyfriend that messages her everyone once in a while and they have known each other for 12 years. She said he lives in a different part of the world and they have never done anything in person, but they just have these explicit conversations every once in a while. I asked her why she has these conversations with him and she said that likes the attention he gives her and likes it when men talk to her like this. Some of the language would not be words that would come to my mind. Another reason I was shocked about this interactions was because some of the messages were right before times we were intimate, which felt really violating to me. I asked her why she did this and she said that she felt like I wasn't giving her attention that she needs. Which was surprising to me because earlier that week she asked me to give her more attention, and when I did, like touching her back or kissing her while we are out and about on our vacation, she asked me to stop. I don't know what to do now. How can I forgive her? Should I forgive her? I, am 34, have been married for 5 years, and I have a child, F2. 3 years ago, I started feeling neglected by my wife. She was not giving me attention anymore and we stopped being intimate because she refused to. I downloaded Tinder and met one girl, whom I had a short relationship with, mainly based on intimacy. Later she found a boyfriend, so we stopped seeing each other. I met another girl on Instagram, and we started talking every day for 3 months. I felt lonely at home, and this girl gave me love and affection. She listened to me. We video called for hours every day. I told her I was separated from my wife. We met after 3 months because we live in different countries. I organized a trip to her country to visit her. When we met, I realized we had different expectations about our meeting in the future. I did not want to leave my wife. I just wanted a non-committed fling, visiting her once a month, spending a couple of days with her, and then going back to my family, while she felt we were going to have a relationship. When I realized we had different expectations, I took distance from her, and I left the country early. She got mad that I left, and she texted my wife. She asked my wife if we were separated. My wife got angry and told me she wants to divorce. But I want her to understand that I love her, and the reason why I met another woman is because I feel neglected by her. After I had intimacy with the other girl, I felt guilty, and I realized I only have feelings for my wife. How do I explain these things? How can I get her back? Also, I would like to take revenge on the other girl, who literally tried to destroy my life. She sent my wife pictures of us together.